Welcome to From the Bookshelf, where I tell you about what I'm reading. Today on From the Bookshelf, we have Across the Tracks, Remembering Greenwood, Black Wall Street, and the Tulsa Race Massacre by Alverne and Stacey Robinson. Across the Tracks is a graphic history of the Greenwood Massacre, also known as the Tulsa Race Riot or the Tulsa Race Massacre. It focuses more on the history of the Greenwood neighborhood itself and does not spend as much time on the events of the massacre. This book, published in 2021, was conceived in the aftermath of the protests rising after George Floyd's murder. One thing that makes this book really stand out is that the authors incorporated the indigenous peoples who lived in what is now Tulsa. The book begins with the arrival of settlers, indigenous settlers from the Lochapoka Turtle Clan and Muskogee Creek groups. The book ends with a discussion of McGirt versus Oklahoma, a SCOTUS decision from 2020, which ruled that eastern Oklahoma, where Tulsa is located, is still Native American territory. The majority of the book covers the rise of Greenwood as a unique community. The very segregation that caused Greenwood to be self-contained meant that Greenwood also became quite prosperous, something that angered the local white community. The exploration of Greenwood's development contextualizes the massacre and makes the white community's reaction more understandable. With this context, readers will clearly see the massacre as the white community expressing their power over the black community and unleashing years of frustration and anger at Greenwood's wealth. This book is a good overview of the events leading up to the Greenwood Massacre, is a clear and easy read, and avoids blood and gore, even though the main story is one of violence. This book lives on my classroom shelf. This one is good to assign students. I would assign it to my college students, and I think it would work well in a high school class for students about 15 or 16 and up. It is a heavy topic, and the author and artist did not shy away from the destruction and violence, though again, they did avoid excessive or really any blood and gore. And it is important to remember that this book is bookended by a discussion of the situation of the indigenous people in this region. Across the Tracks gives us an understanding of an event that we may or may not have heard of and contextualizes it in the larger story of white and even black colonization of indigenous territory throughout the U.S.'s history.